Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for attending here this morning. We're going to talk about Retirement Boss Radio with the coach Dave Pimper. Looking forward to a great webinar. Very pleased that you all took the time out of your early Friday morning here as we start encroaching on the holiday season to learn a little bit about Retirement Boss Radio. I think you're going to be pleased with the opportunity there. In fact, of the opportunities I think available in the sales and marketing arena right now, I guess more specifically the marketing arena, I think Retirement Boss Radio presents one of the best ones for someone that maybe is looking to change, make kind of a game-changing decision regarding their practice as we go into 2022. So the opportunity won't be available to everyone because some of it has to do a little bit with your geographics and the demographics of your geographics, I guess I would say. So if we've got the right situation there, it can be a very valuable initiative for you and a lot easier and less expensive, I think, than what most people think. So that's what we're going to talk about today with the coach. For many of you that are unfamiliar with Dave Pimper, Dave has been in the business since the early 80s, does both securities and insurance products. The insurance products that he works with primarily are the annuity side, the bond and safe part of his portfolio. Recommendations usually end up in the index and occasionally the MIGA uh, uh, tranche of his recommendations with his clients. So that's how he does his business. I'm looking at our group here, and I know, well, yeah, I guess a larger share, just at first glance on my part than I thought, are probably licensed on both sides. Maybe less, still less than probably 25% of you. But this program was designed, Retirement Boss Radio was designed primarily to kind of appeal to the insurance producer. It works well for both, has been our experience. So, and Dave has just slightly different show notes that he provides. He'll talk about that during the course of today's webinar. Slightly different show notes that are provided based on your licensing. And obviously, you have full decision-making ability over what what you want to say actually on your show. So the notes are kind of a platform to work from. We'll talk about that as well. So great stuff coming up. Obviously you are all interested in radio or you wouldn't be on with us here today. I think you're going to be very pleased with the opportunity if it is indeed available in your area. As we get started, I wanted to point out on our new producer builders that we do at the 750 level have a way to set up and includes all your setup costs and your 8 recorded shows, and we'll actually do a little bit more for you then. But you'll hear from Dave, the setup costs are not really that great. So if you said, hey, I want to get into the radio business but I don't want to have to spend any money really up front to do that, there's a way to do that if you're in your first 180 days with IAMS and you're sitting in business with us on a regular basis, and we can pay for it. And I would always say that no matter what level you're at in this process, and even if you're just using marketing reimbursement, I'm definitely biased towards finding a way to help you get into the radio business if that's something you want to do, because there's just so much opportunity there right now, and we've seen it be successful for people at all levels. I wanted to make sure that you're aware of our marketing reimbursement program and another program that we do a lot of business, or we send a lot of checks out to agents on, which is our referred producer money program. We obviously built our business like you. A lot of it comes via referral. When you're in the business for 36 years, like I am, that's going to happen just as it has for many of you, or maybe most of your businesses receive via referral. The bottom line is that if you refer someone to IAMS and they get appointed with us, we're going to send you a check for $50, and we're going to take care of all the you just give us the name and we'll take care of it from there. But if they get licensed, we'll send you a check for $50. But the real money starts happening when we send out those quarterly refer producer money bonuses based on the business that they do with us. So all the business that they do, for as long as they're with us, you're going to get a bonus based on that. That money does not come out of their pocket. They have access to everything that you have access to. We take that out of our advertising budget. And so don't feel like, hey, if I refer someone over to you, they get appointed, they're going to get less than what is available to me. Anything that you have available to you, they're going to have available to them. That includes all of our marketing, all of our incentives, all of our service, all of our case design assistance, everything that you have that you like about IAMS will obviously be available to them. So marketing reimbursement, it's a simple program. When you do business, money goes into your marketing reimbursement account. You spend money on your marketing, anything you do to build your business, and we will match your spend dollar for dollar. So you can kind of get double duty out of your marketing spend in your business through the marketing reimbursement program. I want to make sure, and I'm not going to dwell on this. If you're on with us, which is a good share of you have already done business with us, you kind of probably felt the difference in the service levels. We do pay attention to you one-on-one. We're going to nurse your business through the system. We're going to help you on the case design, probably a little bit better than most. We're going to help you on the service side, definitely better than most. We're going to help you on the, that getting your commission and everything processed just as quickly and as we can. So. We take a lot of that out of your hands and put it into our hands and let you do what you do best, which is sale. If you, on the other hand, have not taken advantage of that yet or haven't felt that difference yet, and you want to see how we do any one of those services for you, give us a call. Let us walk you through it. One of the things that we put in place, and it was lucky timing about 2 or 3 years ago, was our single sign-on for Firelight. As many of you know, Firelight is the platform of choice on the annuity and on some life carriers for e-apps. And if you haven't done e-apps, what you'll learn when you do e-apps is there's a couple advantages to it. Number one, you always have the right paperwork. Number two, when you fill out your paperwork, it doesn't let you kind of skip over things that a lot of times get missed by mistake, so your paperwork is more complete. And of course, number three, it just gets in the system faster. For most carriers, that means same day. As opposed to when they get an app by mail, goes in the system, they get it, somebody looks at it, and usually within 2 or 3 days, they've got it input in their system, and then they start the process. When you do an e-app, it just feeds right into their system. So they like it because it makes their life easier. We like it, and you like it because it makes it much faster, much more complete. You always have the right paperwork. One reason to consider using our single sign-on for Firelight here on our website is that all of the carriers are available there. So you don't have to go from carrier website to carrier website to remember all that. You only have to remember the one web sign on. And number two, if you need to do some cutting and pasting and copying and from carrier to carrier back and forth, you're just submitting a couple apps. For maybe 1 month, you submitted an app with a client with EquiTrust, and 2 months later, you're submitting one on the same client with Athene. You can do the cut and paste and get a lot of the pertinent information moved over there. And then, you send your client an email and they do a nice sign-on ceremony there. It really is slick and professional. So if you want to get set up on our website to do that single sign-on so you can get all the annuity carriers in one spot, simple thing, just give your sales director a call or just go on the website, sign on. You'll see it's about a 3-minute process. Oops, skipped over. We got a great advertising team. It says Creative Marketing Solutions here, but really they're like your advertising team. So call your sales director and say, hey, trying to build my brand image. What do you guys do that can help me? We do a lot of that work pro bono. We do anything else we do at cost, and we use a lot of marketing reimbursement to offset that. So take advantage of that team if you haven't already. You'd be surprised at how much difference that can make in your business. Got a great website. I'm not going to dwell on that. If you've looked at our website, you know that all those tools are out there. You can go in and quote a term. You can go in and find out what the best MIG is for the 85-year-old in the state of California. You can find out who's got the highest 1-year point-to-point rate on S&P. That through the annuity quote engine. You can do your app through the Firelight, and there's a lot of great stuff on our IAM sales resource library. So if you haven't looked at the website, I encourage you to do so. Retirement Analyzer is a great tool. If you don't use one like it, and aren't comfortable with the one that you use, then call Marcus and have him walk you through what the Retirement Analyzer does. And the reason that you might want to consider that is that if you're doing business with IAMS, we take care of the cost. So if you've used one like that, that's usually 60, 70, 80, 200, whatever dollars a month cost to take advantage of that. We're going to take care of that cost for you. All I ask is that if you go to Mark and say, hey, Marcus, I want to try it, and then you try it for a month and you don't like it, just don't let it sit there. Give Marcus a call and say, hey, this isn't fit for what I do, so that we can open that up for someone else and we aren't paying that ongoing fee for you. So take advantage of Marcus and Retirement Analyzer. Just dial 800-255-5055, ask for Marcus, say, hey, Marcus, any chance you can send me out that link and I can try that out for a month or two. Marcus will get it right out to you. Hymes Wealth Management. If you have interest in joining our wealth management firm, 3 or 4 years old, their growth that they have seen over that 3 or 4 years has been astronomical. The reason is because they're very service oriented. A lot of guys aren't used to getting that level of service in the RIA space, and they do a really great job of that. We've helped a lot of our producers that were insurance only take the test and get through that process. So if you're in either of those positions, you maybe not happy with your current RIA, or maybe you're thinking about getting an RIA in place. I'm going to do this really quick. I'm only going to leave this poll up for a minute, so you gotta sign in quick. But if you want them to give you a 5 or 7 minute call, tell you what they do and how they do it, I would just put yes on that. If not, give me a quick no. Both are highly acceptable answers, I will say. We're okay with no's and we love yeses, but a quick response to that would be very helpful. And you could see, well, you can't anymore because I put the poll up. So joining the wealth management firm, whether it's Hymes Wealth or another one, if you're in the insurance only space, what you're going to find is it is going to increase the revenue for your business. You're going to do more business in the insurance side, and you're going to then add that revenue stream through your managed money platform. You're going to more likely, because you have more services, your client retention is going to be a little bit better, and it's just better overall for your client relationships. That being said, if you say, hey, I'm too old, too tired, too uninterested in that part of the business, and I want to refer that out to someone, so at least do the best we can to protect that client relationship so they're not going hunting somebody else down to do that, let us know that as well. We're glad to help you find somebody in your area that can do that part of the business, and at least will protect that part of your client insurance relationship. Unfortunately, as time goes on, it's going to be more and more important that you have the ability to at least talk to your clients or offer them those services. We'd love to help you with that. As I mentioned, I'm going to close that poll up pretty quick here because we want to talk about Retirement Boss Radio. Before we do that, we've got 6 months left of qualification for our cruise from Rome to Venice, which when you think about that, doesn't sound like a long way, but we actually go all the way down around the boot of Italy and come back through Greece and end up back in Venice. It's going to be a great 7-8 day cruise. Everybody that joins the Hymes team, of course, it's you and your guests. You're all going to be on the concierge level, which means early check-in and early boarding on the boat, somebody to shine your shoes, do your laundry, 24/7 access to everything that you need aboard, including all the food and drink you could imagine on the concierge level. So it's going to be a great trip. We'd love to have you and your guests join us. Still plenty of time to qualify. Looking at our attendee list, I know many of you are well on your way. There are a few of you that haven't gotten started, and some of you aren't even appointed with us. So I don't know that anybody else is doing a trip of that level for that level of production. So I hope you'll consider looking at joining us on our next Top Producer Summit. We'll be setting sail in late August, early September. I think we get back into the U.S. the Saturday of Labor Day weekend, and we'd love to have you join us there. So let's, if I can help you in any way with that, or if your sales director can help you, certainly let's go ahead and give them a call at 800-255-5055. So now I've given you a pretty good intro on Dave. We're going to talk about Retirement Boss Radio with Dave. Dave, are you aboard with us today?
Absolutely.
There he is. Sound great as usual. I know you had a busy day of appointments yesterday. Glad you could take some time out on a Friday. We got a great group here on a Friday, kind of as we come upon the Christmas holidays. So these are people obviously that are really interested in the potential of growing their business via radio. So a great group to have aboard with us today. I've given them a pretty good introduction and told them a lot about you. If you want to maybe dwell on that for another few minutes, and then let's talk about Retirement Boss Radio.
Well, I don't want to dwell on myself, Steve. So
that probably doesn't sound right.
That sounds very egotistical to me. No, I think what Steve is trying to say, though, I have been around for a while. I've been in the business for 40 years, since 1981, and I do both insurance products, mainly fixed index and fixed, and then also with investment based, so forth. But I'm a big marketer, and I really enjoy marketing. And I'll tell you right now, most advisors, by far, agents, advisors, they really don't consider radio as a way to market. And the reason is, first of all, they don't really understand of how valued it can be. Meaning, there's a value in radio. How many people you're you're actually contacting that listen to the program, how many yeses you get for appointments, and then how many appointments you get, and the business that you write, the ROI, return on your investment, can be quite high. But let's talk a little bit. This is a turnkey system called Retirement Boss Radio. I've been doing radio for 30 of the 40 years I've been doing radio, 3 different radio programs. One was called Your Money Matters for 11 years. It was a 45-minute show on Saturday mornings. One was for 12 years or 13 years it was a ending market report, kind of Paul Harvey in the news. I called the Closing Market Bell. And then for 2.5 years now with Retirement Boss Radio. This is really the first one that I went out and actually got together all of the components. But I'll tell you what, radio, it's a hot commodity. So listen up. This is going to be a very short webinar, only about 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. If you've got a question, type them in. We'll be more than happy to answer those for you. Okay. So who's AM radio? All the big guys and gals. I'll tell you now, Rush Limbaugh is deceased, but he was the big player. But Glenn Beck, Kim Commando, Dave Ramsey, Rick Edelman. So what happens is so many celebrities, and why are they on it during the week and some weekend? They're on it because the advertisers are paying them a lot of money because they're listening to that show. Okay, there's no question about it. Now, what happens is that, and I want to make sure I didn't skip one here. Yeah, there we go. Why Retirement Boss Radio? First of all, before I even did my very first show 3 years ago, I did go in and I trademarked that name and the slogan, Retirement Boss Radio, take charge of your money. And that isn't us taking charge of their money, but that's the client takes charge of their money. But I will tell you, the program is put together in 4 different kind of areas. And first thing is that you've got someone, i.e. myself, Dave Pimper, been in the business for 40 plus years. I know a lot about radio marketing. I put this together, so this is kind of my baby, marketed through IAMS, Insurance Agency Marketing Services. And what happens is I critique, I help, I am updating things. I'm making this as good as we possibly can, not just for me doing the show, but of course for all the people like that you could too could go in and do a turnkey show. Again, if you have any questions, just type them in. So it's a turnkey system. So let me just tell you what happens. Let's say that you say, Dave, I'd like to go in and I'd like to pursue further in my area. I'll first say this. Your metropolitan population has to be at least 100,000 people or more. If it's less than that, there won't be enough people listening to get enough yeses when they call in. This is a recorded show. It's not live. And interesting enough, it is an hour show, but we only record for half an hour because we pick up another show from 4 weeks before. Right when you start out, you'll need to go in you'll record 3 or 4 shows in the first week or 10 days, but then you're set in. It's one recording a week. The recording will be for a half an hour. So let's say you say, yeah, I would like, so I'm just making this completely up. Let's say it's Little Rock, Arkansas. We don't have an advisor there doing radio. So I'll say Little Rock, Arkansas. So then what I will do is go out to my media buyer who buys radio time. Believe me, this guy's great at what he does. Over 20 years in the business, has over 750 shows that they've purchased radio time and television time each week. Their family's been in the business for over 60 years in the radio business, actually owning radio stations. He's a media buyer. He'll know the Little Rock area. He'll know Little Rock, Arkansas. He goes in and starts making his calls and his emails. And now we've got to find a station. And usually AM, not always, but usually AM, one of the top 1 or 2 biggest AM stations in that area. Then he's got to find the right station. He's got to find the right time slot, and it's got to be a competitive pricing. And if he can find those three, then he gets back with me and he says, this is available, here's the pricing, here's the time slot, or there could be multiple ones. Maybe it's Sunday, like my show's Sunday at 12. Maybe it's a Saturday at 9. And the prime times are really 9 a.m. in the morning through about 3 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, usually 3. Those are prime times. And so let's say they get that. Then what happens is once we do that, and that's the acceptance, that's the major part of the cost, then when you record each week, that recording is done through a software that we provide, and it sounds just like it's in your like it's in the studio. You have to buy up front. There's about $200 worth of equipment, maybe $225 from Amazon. There's a professional mic, professional headphones, a little foam box that cuts out, your all your back end noise. But besides that, then it's just a pay-as-you-go system, once a month. But then you've got the production company that they record it. They supply the co-host, which I believe in a co-host to go back and forth. They supply the show notes, and I redo the show notes every week. I upgrade them, take from them, add to them what I think is going to work better for my advisors. And then they edit it, they mix it, they actually get it in the can, and they get it to the radio station each and every week. And it's an hour show. They have commercials with your name, your business name, promoting you. There's normally anywhere from 10 to 15 commercials a week that promote your show. That brings a lot of brand image, lots of brand image. And then even though it's recorded, when people call in, they call into a high-touch, income-bound call center. High-touch, income-bound, call center. And they take live, and we do it through an electronic calendar that you fill out and block off the time you don't want to meet for the next 3-4 weeks. Every Friday. Takes us about a half an hour to do that. And they line up the appointment right there. Those are set appointments. We're not mailing out information to them. We're setting appointments. Like last time I had 4 appointments last week from radio. I mean, those are 4 appointments on my schedule. And then we call everybody back on Monday and just verify that is good for them. So what happens is, like, here, this is like a show note that came in from the radio. This is a confirmation on an appointment. The source was KFAB. That's an AM station I'm on Sunday at noon. The appointment time here was on 3/5 of 19, a couple 3 years ago, going on 4 years ago, or 3 years. Yeah, appointment time was at 8:30, and it says comments. Turning 59 soon, hasn't settled on someone yet. Meaning an advisor. He has a 401k that is 7-figured. Also had questions about Social Security. Social Security is really key. I'm telling you right now, if you don't know Social Security, try to work that pre-retired or just retired crowd. You need to learn it. We coach you up. I do. I coach you up. Doesn't cost you a thing. You're going to get 3 coaching sessions from me, but I'll coach you up on Social Security. It's pretty tough not to know Social Security. So one of the great things, if you really don't know Social Security well, you're going to know it a lot better when you get coached up by me and you're doing Retirement Boss Radio. That's paid for by the FMO, by IAMS. Okay? If you go to www.retirementbossradio.com, www.retirementbossradio.com, that's our name, that's our website. We update every other week on my shows, and we have every one of my recordings are in there, my previous recent shows. There's a white paper, just tells you a lot about what our business does, and that is getting as many appointments as we possibly can for yourself. So the cost, yeah, I mean, there's going to be some of the questions come up, but normally it's $3,000 to $4,000 a month all in. Normally, have I seen it as low as $2,200, $2,300? Yeah. Have I seen it over $5,000? Yeah, in a big city like Los Angeles or Philadelphia, Houston, I have. But Most of the time, it's between $3,000 and $4,000. We've got an Upper Midwest city right now that it isn't actually. It's not in the best time. It's a 6 a.m. Saturday morning, and I was hoping we would average one appointment per week, and we're averaging 2.2 appointments per week from that radio station. So they got it for a very reasonable price because of the time slot. So we're looking for even a better time slot. Nothing's available right now, but we got our hat, our hats in the ring to get that. There are locations available, not all. Of course, we've got other advisors that are working out in the field right now with Retirement Boss Radio, but I train you, I coach you. There's a lot. There's several other FMOs that have coaching programs, but I'll tell you right now, they don't have a coach that will stay with you. You can call at any time critiquing your work. The studio can be in your office. It's portable. Could be in your home. As long as you got Wi-Fi, it could be in your car. It could be in the motel room. All you need is a Wi-Fi connection and a computer. But it's how all the components work together. That's what you know more when you give us a call. And the end result, we want production for our advisor. We want appointments. And I'll tell you right now, I do lots of seminar marketing. Just got done doing a Social Security seminar. Got 8 appointments on Wednesday. At a Wednesday, I got 8 appointments. I was happy with that. But the appointments that come from radio seem to be a little more net worth, a little more income, just a little more money involved. It seems like radio versus seminar. Al Jolson is an old actor, and he says, I'd like to do radio just like pictures. Leave the imperfect stuff on the cutting room floor. The beautiful thing about Retirement Boss Radio is that you can say, let's do that over again, because it's recorded. And that's the beauty of not being live. There's no saying that says procrastination is my sin, brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. And tomorrow never comes. It never comes. Don't let that happen to you. If you heard something today that you like, absolutely go in and mark. Yeah, Steve, you can put up, we've got a poll, and on this poll, we'll say, yes, you'd like more information on Retirement Boss Radio, or no, you don't. So Steve, he might be just away, but he'll be bringing that poll up here just in a second. And I do see this. I'll start answering some of the questions that people, because we have quite a few folks on the line with us today. But one of the questions was, what is the breakdown in costs of the radio program? Well, I will say this, that if you've got a $3,000 bill, a month, a $3,000 bill a month, that the radio is going to be 2/3 to 3/4 of that bill. 2/3 to 3/4 of that bill. And then the rest is production, and then the call center. Take calls. Someone else asked me kind of what my background again was in radio, and it's really, now it's over 30 years of radio experience, and I do a lot of coaching. I mean, I've done over 540 public workshops. I mean, I'm a marketer, and I stay extremely busy. I've got appointments I don't have a day where I don't have multiple appointments. It just happens over and over again, but it's because of the marketing. I know with advisors, you don't want to spend a lot of time figuring out a marketing program. What happens here, this is a turnkey system. I've set up Retirement Boss Radio as turnkey. So, when we coach, we actually coach, we'll coach 2 sessions on Retirement Boss Radio. And if you don't know Social Security inside and out, we'll coach up to 3 more sessions. So you can have up to 5 sessions with me about the radio and with Social Security. And that's all part of, there's not a cost to you on that. So that's just a lot of one-on-one. And that's the association I have at IAMS. I get stipend through the broker, through the, not broker-dealer, but through the FMO to do that. And then you can, once you're working with this, you can work with me for, call me, email me, within reason, as much as you want for that extra support. And Steve, if you're there, I am going to have you put up that poll. And if he's not there yet, then I will go in and I'll answer the last couple questions here. One more question that came on up. They want to know of how many cities are still open. Well, there's a lot. I mean, we certainly have our share of advisors and agents that are doing radio shows right now. But there's gazillions amount of population cities. Like we mentioned, Little Rock. We don't have a person there right now. I mean, there's just a lot of cities. So certainly call when we talk. We can certainly see if there's a part of yours are there or not. Okay. And then one last question is that the question here is that I want to make sure that I read this question right. Oh, yeah. What happens if you're not security licensed? And I'll tell you right now, if you're not securities licensed, I mean, I am, and some of our people are, but are some of our people not securities licensed? Absolutely. So if you're not security licensed and you're strictly insurance, we can work at that, especially from the fixed index and the index side. So I wanted to thank everybody. Thank you very, very much. We normally have a poll that goes up, but for some reason we don't right now. I think that Steve must have got caught up a little bit, but we will call each and every single one of you on this, and we will call you today. And we just appreciate that you're on with us today. So my name is Dave Pimper. I work with the FMO of Insurance Agency Marketing Services, and thank you very much for attending today. Everybody have a good one. Bye-bye.